Good morning, third grade. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week so far. We're halfway through, done Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday's our middle day, so we're at our halfway point in the week. Okay, so today on Wednesday, for math, of course you need your math book. We are opened up to page 201, 202 in your math book. Make sure you have your pencil. Do you notice anything different? I'm back at school, so nobody else is here. Miss Roach kind of decided to come up. It was just getting so tricky recording with all the dogs and the people, and I was making everybody stay in their rooms. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna try to record some videos here just to make it, and I also miss it. Oh, it feels so good to be back. I should turn. Has anyone forgotten what the classroom looks like? Oh, all of our cactus, they're all doing well. Our library, but we're missing all the kids. That's the sad part, huh? Okay, so anyways, it feels good to be back, but I hope yesterday's math with cancellation went well. I was cracking up looking at the board when we were done because it was like so many colors and everything on the screen. So today we're doing more work with cancellation. Okay, so number 1, A, B, C, E, F, G are going to be done together on the board. D and H, I left off on purpose. I want you to try those on your own so that when I give you a call, we can check those specifically because I want to make sure you can do them on your own, not just with Miss Roach. Okay, so definitely add those, maybe circle those right now so you know on 1D and 1H. Those ones are for sure homework to practice, okay? All right, so when we look at our fractions with multiplying, remember top times top, bottom times bottom, but if you remember with cancellation, we are we are reducing before we multiply, okay? So let's look at, grab a marker here, our first one. So 1A says 4/7 times 3/8, okay? Now, yesterday I circled every time. What I want us to do today is look first and say, is there a number that can go into these two? And if not, let's not circle it just to make our paper, sometimes it gets a little messy and it's hard to see what you're doing, okay? So watch this first one. I'm going to pretend I'm circling this, 3 and 7, in my mind. Is there a number that can go into 7 and 3? No, there isn't. 3 can't go into 7, and there's no other number besides 1 times 3 that makes 3. So I'm not even going to circle this one. I'm just going to leave it like that. Is there a number that can go into 4 and 8? If you said 4, good. So let's go ahead and circle this diagonal, but don't circle this one. Okay, we're only circling the one that we can do. Now, did anybody say 2 here? Because you're right, 2 can go into 4 and 8, but we always want to do the biggest one, okay, the largest factor that can go in. So can I count by 4 to get 8? Yes, so that's why I'm going to choose that. So let's divide by 4. How many 4s can go into 4? 1, and remember you put a little 1 on the side there. How many 4s can go into 8? 2. Cross out your 8, make it a 2. Okay, and now I'm just going to multiply. Top times top, bottom times bottom. I'm going to use blue for my answers again. So 1 times 3 is 3. And 7, remember we didn't change this one, 7 times 2 is 14. And now that is my answer, and there's no reducing needed, which is awesome, right? Okay, let's go to our next one. 5/6 times 3/10. Okay, so look before I circle. 5 and 10. Is there a number that can go into 5 and 10? 5. So we're definitely going to circle that one. Try to be as neat as I can. Okay, what are we going to divide by? 5. How many 5s can go into 5? 1. How many 5s can go into 10? 2. All right, so let's look at our next diagonal. Is there a number that can go into 3 and 6? 2 won't work. Will 3 work? 3, 6, and of course 3. Okay, so I'm going to use a different color here. Let's diagonal circle this one. I am going to have to cross cancel here. So on this one I didn't have to do both, but this one, if you can find a factor that goes into both, you've got to circle it. Okay, so we decided 3 can go into 3 and 6. How many 3's can go into 3? 1. How many 3's can go into 6? 2. Okay, so let's look at our numbers. What are our top numbers now? They're no longer 5 and 3. They're 1 and 1. Well, that's so easy. 1 times 1 is 1. Now we're not multiplying 6 and 10. We cross those out. We're multiplying by 2 and 2. What's 2 times 2? 4. So my answer is 1/4. Who's getting the hang of this? Okay, if you're feeling brave, pause the video, try the next one on your own, and then push play and see if you got it right. Okay, let's do C. Is there a number that can go into 2 and 4? 2. Okay, so I'm gonna diagonal that one. All right, we're dividing by 2. How many 2's can go into 2? 1. How many 2's can go into 4? 2. All right, let's look at our next one. 9 and 3. Is there a number that can go into 9 and 3? 3. All right, so let's diagonal that. All right, how many 3's can go into 3? 1, cross, cancel, and then divide. How many 3's can go into 9? 3, 6, 9. How many is that? 3. So I'm going to put a 3. I'm going to put it down here. It's a little hard to fit it. Okay, so now all we have to do is multiply. Top times top, bottom times bottom. So 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 2 is 6. So what's my answer? 1/6. Okay, who got that right by themselves? Did anyone pause it and try it? Okay, if you didn't pause it, try pausing on the next one. I really want you guys to stretch yourselves. Okay, here we go. Down to letter E. Remember, I skipped D on purpose. That one I want you to do on your own. Okay, so we're skipping to E. Make sure you went down. It's right under 1. Okay, 9/10 times 5/6. Let's look at our diagonals. Can something go into 9 and 6? Not 2. 2 goes into 6, but can 2 go into 9 perfectly? No. 3. 3 will work. So let's divide by 3. How many 3's can go into 6? 2. How many 3's can go into 9? 3, 6, 9, 3. All right, let's look the other way. 10 and 5. Oh, I remember that over here. 10 and 5, we definitely could do it. So let's circle. What goes into 5 and 10, guys? 5. How many 5's can go into 5? 1. How many 5's can go into 10? 2. So this is what you should have. 3/2 times 1/2. Or 3/2 times 1/2. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 2 is 4. What's my answer? 3/4. Good job, you guys. Okay, who did that one on their own and got it right? 3/4. All right, give yourself a pat on the back. So proud of you. Okay, let's do another one. You can pause if you want. Challenge yourselves. Okay, let's look at 11 and 1. Is there a number that can go into 11 and 1? Do you guys remember my trick from yesterday? If one of the numbers is a 1 in your diagonal, you can't reduce it because 1 can't get any smaller. Okay, so that's a giveaway there. Don't do anything on that one. Let's look at our other one. 4 and 2. Yes, 2 can go into it. So let's go ahead and do that. How many 2's can go into 2? 2. How many 2's can go into 4? 2. All right, let's times. 2 times 1 is 2. 11 times 2 is 22. Oh, Miss Roach made a mistake. I'm so glad I caught myself that time. Who sees Mrs. Roach's mistake? It's before we multiplied. How many 2's can go into 2? Not 2, 1. Okay, so I'm going to erase this. You guys will notice that sometimes Miss Roach is going too fast and she makes mistakes. Guys, everyone can can make mistakes, right? So we always want to go back, look, and make sure if you get an answer and I got something different, you might be right and I could be wrong. So go back and check and make sure, but I'm glad I caught that there. Okay, so I'm crossing out my 2, making it a 1. Sorry about that. So this is a 2, this is a 1. What's 11 times 1? 11. So my answer is 2 11ths. I thought something was wrong because I was going to get 22 down here and then I could still reduce. And I was like, well, we already cross-canceled. We shouldn't have to reduce. Okay, so let's go to our next one. All right, 3 and 6. Can anything go into 3 and 6? 3. Okay, so I'm going to circle. All right. How many 3s can go into 3? Do you hear our bell? It's still ringing. It still thinks we're in school. Okay, how many 3s can go into 6? 2. All right, how about 5 and 8? Can anything go into 5 and 8? Nothing. 1 times 5 is the only thing that makes 5. 2 times 4 makes 8, but 2 and 4 can't go into 5, so we can't cross-cancel those two. All right, so then we just have to multiply. 1 times 5 is 5, and 8 times 2 is 16. My answer is 5/16. Okay, how many of you guys got that right on your own? Okay, there's one more to do, letter H. Circle that one. When I'm done with the video, you can go back and do that one because when I call you, I'm going to check those for sure, okay, to see how you did. All right, so now we're going to do some review with our divisibility rules. So let me get that chart out. And I'm going to put it up right here so that we can see it next to our problem number 2, okay? I'm just going to move this over. Okay, all right. So we are going to be using this poster to figure out what we can divide by. So remember yesterday when I was holding up these numbers and I was saying, like, can 2 go into this? And you were like, well, is it even? Yes, 2 can go into it. Let's pick a different card. What can go into this one? Well, it ends in a 0, so 5 can do it and 10, right? So we're using our poster to see what can go into both the numerator and the denominator, all right? So our first one is 24/50ths. Something that pops out is that 0 to me, but since this one doesn't have a 0 or a 5, then these won't work. Does anything else pop out at you? They're both even, right? They both end in a 4 and a 0. Now before I jump in and just divide by 2, let's make sure there's nothing higher. 3 can't go into 5, so that won't work. 4 could go into 24, but can 4 go into 50? No, so that won't work. And we know these 9 can't go into these, it's too small. Okay, so 2 is our only one, but it's good to double check to make sure. Okay, so we're gonna divide by 2. So all I want you to do is put a divide by 2, divide by 2, and then let's divide. How many 2's can go into 24? 12, good job. How many 2's can go into 50? That was a little harder to do in your head. Can you think of what's half of 50? If I had 50 M&Ms and I gave you each half to this kid, half to this one, 25. 50 divided by 2 is 25. All right, so let's circle 12 25ths. That's our answer. Okay, let's go to B. 18 22nds. Okay. All right, let's look at our rules. Well, are they even? Yes, they are. Let's keep looking though. 3, 1 plus 8, because remember we added up, makes 9, so 3 could go into that. 2 plus 2 is 4. Can we count by 3 to get 4? That won't work. This one won't work because 4 can't go into either of those. They don't end in 0 or 5. 9 won't be able to go into 4. And so 2 is the only one again. So it takes kind of some thinking, but we always want to try to find the highest one. So it's good to take your time on this. All right, so we're dividing by 2 again. How many 2's can go into 18? 9, good job. How many 2's can go into 22? 11. Anyone? That was a little trickier. 11 times 2 is 22. Okay, I didn't do C, it's a green one. You're welcome to try it if you want to, but I'm gonna go down to D, the next black number, okay? All right, 100 over 110. I'll give you guys a chance to look at the poster. Does anything pop out at you? That 0 at the end, right? What is our trick when a number ends in a 0? We can divide it by 10, because yes, it's even, but we would much rather divide by 10 because that's the biggest one, okay? Now, who remembers my trick when we're dividing by 10? If you multiply by 10, you add a 0. If you divide by 10, you take off a 0. So watch what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to write divide by 10, divide by 10, but I'm just going to cross off this 0, cross off this 0, and whatever is left is my answer. So what's left? 10 over 11. 10 11ths. Isn't that interesting? I think it's just a cool trick. Okay, let's look at our next one. 81 over 108. Go ahead, look at your poster. Anything? Well, what's interesting is they both have 8s and 1s in them. Can you think of something that goes into 81? 9 times 9 makes 81, right? Let's see. Is 8 plus 1 9? Yes. Is 1 plus 8 9? Yes, that's our sum of our digits. So that means 9 can go into both of these. So let's divide by 9. Divide by 9. How many 9s can go into 81? You guys already got that, 9. How many 9s can go into 108? We don't normally count that high. Does anyone know 9 times what makes 108? 9 times 10 makes 90. 9 times 11 makes what? 99. 9 times 12? 108. So 9 twelfths. Oh, now I want you guys to look at this. Do you notice something interesting about that fraction? 9 twelfths. Did anyone see that I could reduce further? I'm going to check our book and see if they want us to go further down. I'm assuming they do. Yes, they do. So this is a good model, though, to show you guys. So just because you picked the biggest one that we could do 9, it doesn't always mean that it's reduced far enough. So what can go into 9 and 12? Think. 2, no, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 3, 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9, 12. So 3. So let's divide by 3. So we have to divide this one twice. All right, how many 3's can go into 9? 3. How many 3's can go into 12? 4. So if you pause the video, check E, make sure you went all the way down to 3/4 to make sure you got that one right. Okay, we feeling good? All right, on the rest of that paper on the front, because we're going to do some on the back right now, but on the front, there's 2 long divisions, A and C, that I want you guys to try. And there's 2 word problems, okay? I want you to try 4A. If you want to try 4B, you can. If not, we'll do 4B on our FaceTime call, okay? On the back, on 7 and 8, I want you to do all of that section. 7A, or 7A, A, B, and C, and 8, A, B, and C, okay? Now, a lot of you guys are doing the whole paper. I'm so proud of you. Awesome. We want to set goals high for ourselves, right? Some of you, I notice, are only picking a few. So try to stretch it this week, okay? So if you were doing 5 last week on the back, try to do maybe 9 or 10. We want to work up to getting the whole paper done. Now, if you get stuck on a problem, don't stress out. Mom and Dad, don't worry about it. Just circle it and we'll come back to it. But I don't want you just to pick the easy ones and do just the easy ones. You want to try to stretch yourself, okay? So 7 and 8, I want to make sure you know how to do it. So when you flip it over, you're not like, I didn't know what to do, so skip those. I want you to do all of these, okay? All right, so 7A on the back has an improper fraction, and they want you to throw the improper fraction in jail, okay? So, or in the division house, right? Not really in jail. Okay, so 16 goes into my division house. 9 is safe on the outside. How many 9s can go into 16? Only 1. Subtract, what's 16 minus 9? 7. So my answer is 1 7/9. Okay? Let me just make sure you guys can see that. Okay, so that's what I want you to do for B and C. Okay, same thing. Throw the top number, they're all improper. Top number goes in the division house, bottom number becomes our divisor on the outside. Okay, now 8A, we did a little bit of this on this week on some review pages on the back, so I think most of you remember this now, but if you didn't try any of these, I want you to do all of letter 8, okay? So this is how we do it. We're basically doing the opposite we did here. So they're giving us this part, and we're gonna put it back to improper. So what we do is we multiply the denominator by the whole number. What's 3 times 8? 24. If you want to write it up there, that way you have it fresh in your head. And then you add the numerator. So what's 24 plus 1? 25. That becomes my new numerator. And then the same denominator gets moved over. So this is just going to be 25 over 3. And so see how that's improper? If I were to throw the 25 into the division house and divide by 3, I would get this again, 8 1/3. So you're not going to put it back to this. Just leave it right here improper, okay? All right, now there's one more section on the back. Do you see that homework section where it says write the divisibility rules for the numbers, and it has those yellow boxes? Okay, so I was going to put that up on the screen so we can do that part together because it's a lot of writing. And so I'm going to move us over here. I'm going to turn some lights off so there's not a glare on our screen. Okay, and if you've noticed, our videos are going a little bit longer. They took off the time restraint, so we don't have to keep it at 15 minutes anymore, which is nice. Okay, so everyone sees that? All right, so what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to write down the divisibility rule for these numbers. So who remembers how I know if a number can be divided by 2? A number can be divided by 2 if it is even. So we're going to write that down. A number is divisible by 2 if it's even. All right? Go ahead and take your time copying that down. If you need to pause the video, you can. Okay, the next one says number 3. How do we know if a number is divisible by 3? Well, let's first get down our beginning part. A number is divisible by 3 if, now remember, what do we do with 3? We would add them up, right? Do you guys remember what the answer in addition problem is? Add in plus add in equals sum. A number is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits is, and gosh, I'm going to have to go down a line, is divisible by 3. Now the reason, guys, we're writing these down is we want to practice being able to say the rule, okay? So 3, a number is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. It's a little hard to read my 3 there. Let me fix that. Okay, 5 is a nice easy one. When is a number divisible by 5? Okay, and I'm going to shorten this one a little bit since I went so long on that 3 rule. So I'm going to say I'm going to skip the first part. A number is divisible by 5. I'm just going to start at the if. If the ones digit, so that's the number at the end, if the ones digit is a 0 or 5. Okay? So a number is divisible by 5 if the ones digit is a 0 or 5. Okay, last one, number 10. When do we know if a number can be divisible by 10? A number is divisible by 10 if the ones digit is a, can it be a 0 or a 5? No, just a 0. All right, guys. So that's the last one that I wanted you to do together with me. The rest I want you guys to try on your own, okay? So get your pencils out. Definitely do those ones on the front with the cross cancellation because I'm going to check those. I want you to do at least one long division, and on the back, all of 7 and 8. And I would pick an addition or a multiplication, just one of those review ones. So we're stretching ourselves. If you've already been doing the whole paper, keep it up. I'm so proud of you guys. I cannot tell you how proud every time I get you on the phone and you show me all of your work. It is amazing that you're doing that all on your own. I'm so proud of your organization, your determination, and just your concentration to be able to get it all done. So keep up the good work. I am so, so proud of you. And tomorrow we're going to start math with a game because I didn't do one today. Okay, so tomorrow I promise, game will start our lesson. Don't forget, you can always rewatch last Friday's lesson. It was math day 5. And do that multiplication game with me again. So you can rewatch the videos. It's totally fine. All right. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, guys. I will see you tomorrow.